do their catch-up using the recording, okay? So I'm starting recording. Please make sure that you are presentable on the camera, okay? Make sure that you are physically present, your camera is on, you can hear and see me clearly, and you participate actively so that we have different voices coming in during the course of this comprehension discussion, okay? So I'll just do a quick introduction. Hello, everyone. This is the second Zoom session. I'm sorry about yesterday's very bad connection, okay? Not your fault, not my fault. It was just a very bad connection that I had at Townsville Primary School. Their network was very unstable, and we were not the only ones having trouble, okay? So what I've done is sent you the modeled answers to the synthesis questions we were not able to cover yesterday. And I believe that you all managed to see it already. Yeah, I've seen some reactions to show me that you received it. So today we're going to do comprehension, and I'm going to cover some strategies, okay? I do not expect you to annotate the text like you were taught to do in primary 3 and 4. I say again, I do not expect you to annotate the text like you were taught to do so in primary 3 and 4, because in the exams, you will not have time to do a full annotation. But I'll show you what I expect you to do. Very streamlined, very short, very to the point, so that you don't waste too much time on annotation and you focus on answering the questions. Does that sound okay to you all? Okay, so I say again, no need to do your visualizing, right? You're making connections, making inferences, all the things you were taught in 3 and 4 are not applicable here in exams, right? And I say for exams only, because in the exams, time is a constraint and you want to be very focused on answering the questions rather than annotating the text, because no marks are awarded for annotations, okay? So let's go. Look at the first question, okay? Now, I'm sorry, I'm supposed to let you all finish reading, right? Okay, so I'll give you a few more minutes to finish reading the second part, huh? Okay, so to set the context for those of you joining us, this passage is about a team of players who are in prison, okay? They are prisoners. And for whatever reason, they have formed a soccer team and they are playing with people outside of prison. So their opponents, right, are other football teams, but they are not prisoners. They are other football teams from teams outside of the prison, okay? And because of that, they are very different in terms of the way they train and the way they are equipped, right? For example, the teams of players coming to play with them have jerseys, they have like soccer boots, they have properly attired players, but the prisoners, they don't have their own jerseys, they don't even have shoes to wear when they play soccer. So there's a very big disparity between the prisoners and the other teams that they play against. Okay, and in this particular situation, they are playing against a team that is winning them by 1 goal. Okay, so in this case, they have just conceded a goal and they have just missed a goal, an opportunity to score a goal themselves. And at the end of the match, they are 1-0 down. Okay, and Misu, who is the coach, is trying to encourage them. Okay, now unbeknownst to them, there is a professional football coach called Ricardo, and he is in the audience watching the match as it unfolds, and he's very impressed by one of the players on the prisoners' team. Okay, we'll find out later. This player who is wearing jersey number 27 goes by the name of Bilia. Okay, and this is of course the person the story is about. Okay, Bilia is the person the story is about. Why is it about Bilia? Because at the bottom we see the attribution is about the amazing story of Bilia who played football barefoot. Okay, so this entire story is about Bilia. Okay. So what happens? The next day, after the match, Ricardo goes over to the prison in order to speak to the warden of the prison. The warden is the person in charge of the prison, okay? And asks for permission to talk to the player that impressed him during the match the previous day, okay? And in the course of the conversation, he finds out from Corporal Tanga that Bilia is in prison because of a very serious crime, okay, that he committed earlier in his life. What was it? Stealing bananas and then injuring the vendor who was selling the bananas. Okay, so of course the serious crime is not stealing bananas, right? Stealing bananas is a petty crime, right? Nobody will go to prison for that. Okay, but it was in the course of escaping with the bananas that he injured the seller, right? So as you all know, in all countries, right, assault, right? In other words, damaging, injuring somebody else's physical body, is a serious offense. It's jailable, right? In every country in the world, the moment you hurt someone, you are going to be thrown into prison. Okay, so it's a serious crime. That's why he is being thrown into prison. Okay, and we find that Bilia is approached by Ricardo and Corporal Tanga, and we find that his talent is now going to give him an opportunity to leave the prison. and do something more meaningful with his life. Okay, so that's how the story ends, right? With this open-ended question about whether Bilia actually manages to leave the prison or not. But there are some clues that suggest whether he does or not. It's right at the end. Okay, so that's kind of the story. Do you all understand it? All okay, everybody? Can? So let's get started with the questions. Okay. If you have any questions about any of the the vocabulary or the concepts here, please ask. Okay, raise your hands and ask me before we go into the questions. If not, I will go straight into the questions. Then I'll model some of the annotations and some of the techniques and some of the pitfalls you'll need to be careful of when you're doing comprehension in P5 and P6. Okay, that's going to be a bit different from P4. Okay, no questions. I take it everybody is okay on board. Please focus on what I'm doing. Okay, please try not to be distracted with other screens. Please don't open another window and do other things, because that's not going to be very beneficial for you, and you will end up wasting your time here. Okay. Again, I'm not sure why my camera keeps swinging over to the screen. I will do something about it later. I think my camera doesn't like me very much today. Okay. But if you see the camera swing over to the other side, right, just ignore it. Okay. It will swing back to me shortly, right? It's just being, I don't know, difficult and petulant today, right? Yeah. So it's happened just now. It will happen again, right? I know it. Anyway, so first one, for those of you who came earlier and then you joined in the P4 lesson, right? This will look very familiar to you because we were doing the same passage. But of course, I was a little bit more lenient and more open with them, right? For you all, I expect more. Okay, so why the players not notice the dust around them? Okay, so this is what I will do. I will highlight the keywords why. So why I'm looking for a reason, okay? And then 1 mark, right, tells me I'm looking for only one reason. One reason why they did not notice the dust around them, okay? So I'm going to go back to the passage and I'm going to find the exact phrase, okay? They were oblivious to the clouds of dust swirling around them. Oblivious means did not notice, right? In case you did not know. So what caused them to be oblivious? The answer is going to be somewhere before that, okay? It's in this sentence here, okay? Now, the key is you must phrase the answer in a way that answers the question. If you simply copy this entire sentence, you will get a grand total of 0 marks, okay? 0, if you just copy this sentence, you get 0, How do you rephrase this question so that the answer is what is expected? That's the key. Okay, so I go back to the question again. The question is, why did the players not notice? Okay, so again, see, my camera is going berserk again. Don't know why. Okay, so why did they not notice the clouds of dust? Would anybody like to try? Raise your hand. Why did they not notice the cloud of dust? Since you're here, might as well participate, right? Yeah. If you get it wrong, no big deal, right? So try, come. Okay, Arthur, let's get started with you. Thank you for raising your hand.
They were too focused on the ball.
Very good. They were focused on the ball. Okay, good enough. Okay. So in the previous session with the P4s, right? A lot of them, or rather one of them, the first person who answered said they were too focused and they left out the ball. Okay, so be very careful that you don't leave out crucial pieces of information. They were too focused on the ball. Okay, or you might want to say they were too focused on the soccer match. They were too focused on chasing after the ball. All of these variations are perfectly acceptable, but you must say focus on what? Okay, so focus on the ball. Using the word focus is not enough. So if you say they were too focused, right, 0. You must say what they were focused on. And a variation of answers is acceptable here. Okay, so far, okay, everybody? All good? Easy, right? First question, always very easy. And notice first question, first paragraph. Second question, second paragraph, right? Third question, third paragraph. It goes down the order of the passage. Okay, so try to look in the correct area. This next question I kind of like. I just told my P4 class. Very good question, because you are looking for how Bilia is an impressive player. And then, right, you're looking at 1 word, 2 word, 3 word. Okay, now, anybody tell me what's the difference between a phrase and a sentence? This is very important, because if you give a sentence when they ask for a phrase, you will get 0. Can anyone tell me what's the difference between a phrase and a sentence? Okay, very good. Zinel, what's the difference?
A phrase won't have a full stop, or a sentence will.
Okay, very good. Full stops and capital letters are the boundaries of sentences. But what is a phrase? That answers the question, what's a sentence, right? But what is a phrase? Kayla, what's a phrase?
A phrase has only a specific number of words when sentences can be as long as they want.
Actually, phrases can also be as long as they want, but the difference between a phrase and a sentence is, yes, you are right, Kayla, it is a collection of words, but the collection of words cannot contain a full stop and a capital letter. Got it? So the moment you have a full stop and a capital letter, that's a sentence. Again, my camera going berserk, okay? So the moment you see a full stop and a capital letter on the other end, right, then that's a sentence. But if you have a collection of words and there's neither a capital letter nor a full stop, that's a phrase. And a phrase can be 1 word, 2 word, 3 word, 4 word, 5 word, 6 word, can be many words for a phrase. But as long as it doesn't become a sentence, then it's a phrase. Is that clear? So think of a phrase as a baby sentence, right? A sentence that's not fully grown up, right? And what is a grown-up sentence? A grown-up sentence is capital letter and full stop. Clear, everybody? Do you all understand? Okay, so when they ask you for a sentence, you must have a full stop and a capital letter. It must be a complete sentence in itself. If they ask you for a phrase, you cannot give a sentence because that is already automatically wrong. By definition, you have not answered the question. Got it, everyone? So 1 word, 1 phrase, 1 sentence. They test you on all 3 in PSLE. You must know the difference between all 3. Is that clear? If you give the wrong category, you will get it wrong. Even if your phrase is in the sentence, it will still be wrong, because you are not giving the phrase. You are giving the sentence. Clear, everybody? This, not many people are alert to. They give the whole sentence thinking that the answer is inside and then they get it wrong and they don't know why. Okay, so please be very careful with this, okay? So let's go back to lines 4 to 14 and let's find the answer, okay? So lines 4 to 14 is here. This entire section here is what I'm looking at, okay? So I'm looking for 1 word, 2 word, 3 word, okay? 1 word, 2 word, 3 word. Please yell out your answers if you find it. The most difficult is actually the 1 word. Okay, the most difficult is actually the 1 word. The easiest is actually the 3 word. Okay, so please look in this boundary and raise your hands when you spot the 1 word, the 2 word, or the 3 word. It doesn't matter which one. Just tell me. Okay, go. You all can see, right? Okay. Look for it. Be active. Don't just sit there and wait for other people to look for it. The more you practice, the more you exercise your brain, the better you become, okay? So the moment you find something that you think is the 1 word, 2 word, or 3 word, please raise your hands. If you get it wrong, it's okay. I will tell you why it's wrong or why it's right, okay? We learn together by making mistakes, okay? So no problems there. Okay, Anand, tell me 1 word, 2 word, or 3 word.
2 words stood out.
Word, okay. Tell me what are the 2 words.
Stood out.
Line reference, please. You're correct.
Line line 8.
Okay, thank you. Stood up. So this is my 2 word phrase accounted for. Thank you. What about 1 word and 3 word? Anyone? Again, I tell you, the 1 word is the most difficult. Okay. There can be some misleading answers, but remember, I'm looking for something that tells me Bilia is outstanding. He's amazing. He stands out, stood out, right? Yeah. He is impressive as a player. So I'm looking for that. Okay. Please try. Don't just sit there and look. Try. Okay. I want you all to try. See whether you can find 1 and 3. We've already found 2, right? Okay. Anand, I don't want you to answer. I want someone else to answer that's not answered yet. Thank you very much. Please put your hand down. I will wait for the rest of you, but please, everybody try, okay? We are here, since we are already present online, let's try to engage ourselves in this exercise rather than just sitting there and waiting for the others. When there's a lot of people participating, there's momentum. So please try your best. Look for it. Okay, something that is impressive, that is encapsulated in 1 word or 3 words. Okay, something that tells me he is exceptional, he's talented, he's special. Okay, so look out for synonyms in 1 word and look out for synonyms in 3 words. Okay, thank you. I see some hands raised. Okay, Reagan, you want to try 1 word or 3 word?
3 word phrase.
3 word phrase. Okay, tell me which one is it. Which line first?
Line 8.
Line
8.
8. Again, same line. Same line as the 2 word phrase. What word is it?
One particular player.
No, incorrect, right? Again, one particular player doesn't tell me that this player is outstanding or impressive. It just tells me that there's that specific player. It doesn't give the impression of the player being very good, right? I'm looking for the meaning that the player is very good. Kayan, go.
Was a delight.
Sorry, what?
Line 11 was a delight.
Was a delight. So close. So close. Okay. Was a delight? No. But you got one of the three words. Okay. One of the three words. Tinker?
Line what? Line 12, quick-footed.
Line 12. What is that?
Quick-footed.
Quick-footed is one word, right? You're talking about the one word, is it? No, it's not quick-footed. Okay, quick-footed doesn't tell me that he's special or exceptional. Okay, Dylan?
Line 11, delight.
One word. No, I already told just now Kyan that he was close. He got one word out of the three words. So it's somewhere there, right? It's somewhere there, but it's not one word. It's three words. Okay, it's three words phrase. Stephanie?
Line 11, delight to watch.
Yes, thank you very much. It's a delight to watch, right? Okay, so why is it not was a delight? It's delight to watch. Because when you say someone's impressive, right? What is it that impresses you about them? What you see, right? You see them doing something, right? And when you see them doing something, it impresses you. Okay, so it was a delight to watch him. In other words, he was very impressive. If I say was a delight, then I can't see it, right? What is it about was a delight that tells me he's impressive? Nothing, right? It's delight to watch. The word watch must be in the three-word phrase. So now we've got three words. We've got two words. The most difficult one is the one word that we need to find that tells us he's exceptional. He is amazing. Nothing wrong with him, right? He's so good that he is flawless, right? Yeah. Isaac?
Line 12, perfect.
Perfect, thank you. Yeah. He made a perfect pass, right? He perfect, right? So he's perfect, right? In other words, nothing can be improved. There's nothing that we can do to him to make him even better. He's so impressive, right? That he is like perfect, right? Okay. So I mean, you can't get better than perfect, right? You can't get better than perfect, right? Perfect is perfect, okay? So when we talk about how he's very impressive, right? We are looking at words like perfect. Okay. We are looking at words like stood out, okay, because he's head and shoulders above the rest. He's the best, and he was a delight to watch, right? He's like poetry in motion, okay? He's so amazing that people would pay money to watch him, okay? He's that good, okay? He's so impressive that he's a delight to watch. He stands out, and he's perfect in everything he does, including the way he passes the ball. All good so far, everybody? Clear, huh? Okay, so be very sensitive to the number of words, huh? If it's one word, you can only give one word, huh? If it's two words, you can only give two words, huh? And by the way, quick-footed, even though it's the wrong answer, is a hyphenated word, right? So this is actually one word. Got it, everybody? Okay, so remember, when you see a word separated with a hyphen, it's actually one single word. It's a complex word joined by a hyphen. It's considered one word. Okay, so it's one word. So if ever you think about a hyphenated word, always think of it as one word, not multiple words. Okay, please make sure that you are able to see and hear me at all times. Okay, if I get laggy and stuff, please alert me. Okay, because I'm not sure about the connection quality now. Okay, next, let's go. Okay, let's push on. Okay, this one, cause and effect. Now, this kind of question is very common in PSLE, right? Maybe not so common in primary school practices, but very common in PSLE. Cause and effect is what you learn in science, right? Cause is something that generates, and then effect is something that is generated by. Okay, so for example, you throw some salt into the water, right? That's the cause. The effect is the water becomes salty, right? And the water tastes salty. So the cause is throwing salt into the water. The effect is water becoming salty. Okay, generating something being generated by. Okay, so in this case, the whistle blew, that's the cause. And then the effect is the football match began. This caused that to happen. That's cause and effect. Okay, so down here, the player was inattentive when the ball was passed to him. Okay, so let's go back to the passage and look for the inattention of the player. Okay, so over here, you will find, okay, the boy was inattentive and missed the ball. It was a wasted chance. Here is the answer. So again, I'm highlighting and I am bracketing, right? I'm annotating, so to speak, on the text. That's all I require of you. You can highlight, right, based on the keyword. So here, the keyword of the question is inattentive. Okay, so I find the word inattentive and then I highlight the entire section. So can someone tell me the cause of it was inattention, right? What was the effect? What was the effect of this inattention? When this player did not pay attention, something happened, right? Martin, what happened?
The boy missed the ball.
Okay. So this is my an example of an incomplete answer. Okay. So yes, the boy missed the ball. But what happened as a result of the boy missing the ball? There's something else that happened, right? He didn't just miss the ball, right? So what did he miss? What did he miss? He didn't just miss the ball. What did he miss? Which is more important than the ball. Okay. Anand?
Like he missed the goal.
Okay. Closer. Were you?
The chance to score a goal.
Yes. Okay. The scoring of the goal, right? It's the scoring of the goal that he missed. Thank you, Wei Yu. That's the complete answer. Huh? So he did not manage to score the goal. And this is very important because this is the turning point in the whole match, right? He missed the goal, then later they concede another goal. That's how they lost. If they had scored this goal, this match would have ended in a tie. Okay, or maybe even with them winning, but they missed scoring a goal. Okay, so he was inattentive, so he missed scoring a goal. Okay, so this is the complete answer. If you had written he missed the ball, how many marks would he have gotten? What do you think? Reagan?
0 marks.
0, right? Because missing a ball and missing scoring a goal are very different things, right? I'm on the pitch, the ball comes at me, I try to kick it, I miss it. No big deal, right? I just missed the ball. But being in front of the goal and not being able to connect with the ball and send it into the goal, that means I missed scoring a goal. That's a big difference, okay? So if I say I missed the ball versus I missed scoring a goal, it's a huge difference, okay? So when you answer a question, you must be very attentive to the actual meaning, what is trying to be conveyed by the comprehension passage. You must get the meaning and not just the words. If you copy the words without answering the meaning, you will not get the point, okay? So very important, again, camera going berserk, don't know why, okay? Right, so next point, the effect is the opposing team scored a goal. So what caused this phenomenon of the opposing team scoring a goal? So let's go to that portion and let's highlight that point. Okay, so within minutes in the game, a long shot by the opposing striker caught their goalkeeper off guard. Goal, the spectators scream. So the opposing team has just scored a goal here, right? And something caused them to score a goal. It didn't just come out of nothing, right? It wasn't their own effort alone. Something caused them to score a goal. So here, can someone tell me what is the cause of the effect? In this case, the effect is the enemy scored a goal. So what is the cause of that effect? Okay, Isaac, thank you for your enthusiasm, but I'm going to try to call somebody else to answer the question. Can I have Meng Xuan try this?
Their goalkeeper off guard.
Sorry, what?
Their goalkeeper was not focusing.
Okay, so you can use the words in the passage, you know, Meng Xuan. You don't have to come up with your own words because just now I give you context why I'm a bit particular about this, okay, Meng Xuan, and for everybody else. Just now my P4 student said their goalkeeper was distracted. Just now they gave this answer. Their goalkeeper was distracted, and as a result of the goalkeeper being distracted, right, the opponent scored a goal. What do you think? Is that what this section of text is saying? Is it the same? Caught off guard equals to distracted. What do you think? or not equals to distracted? Dylan, what do you think?
I think distracted does not mean off guard.
So what's the difference?
The difference is like distracted is like you're doing something and after that something else like caught your eye, then after that you start doing that thing instead of the thing you're supposed to do.
Okay, good. That's distraction. I like your definition. But then what's off guard then? What's caught off guard then?
Off guard is like you never expect it,
Okay.
then like it
So-
happened.
So it happened in such a way that you could not react to it in a way that you expected. Okay. So for example, something happened so quickly you had no time to react to it. That's caught off guard. In other words, you are focused, your focus is on the game, but because something happened so quickly, right, you didn't have a chance to react to it. The ball rolled past you already. By the time you thought about it, the ball is already gone. It was already in the goal already. So caught off guard and distracted and not focused, Meng Xuan, are very different things. So try not to use a different word, especially in comprehension, unless they ask you to do so. If they ask you in your own words or find another word to replace, then you can do that. But if not, try to stick to the words here. Because when you say the goalkeeper was not focused, Meng Xuan, was that what you said just now? Again, that's a slight change in meaning already. Not focused, what does that mean? It means that you are focusing on something else. Your focus shifted to something else. But there's no evidence in this passage that the goalkeeper had changed his focus, right? He was still focused on the game, but he was off guard, meaning it happened so quickly he had no time to react to it. In Chinese, you would say 措手不及. Okay? So off guard is literally the inability to react to something because it happens too quickly for you to react to it. Got it? Versus distracted or not focused, meaning that your attention or focus was latched onto something else, and that something else pulled your focus away, and so you could not focus on something, and therefore you let it pass. Very different meaning. So in this case, Meng Xuan, would you like to give us the proper answer?
The opposing team caught their goalkeeper off guard.
Very good. Okay, I shorten it. Okay, you are absolutely right. Your answer is correct. But I'm maybe I just want to write less. So I'll just say their goalkeeper, and I do active passive, right? I change the subject to the object. So their goalkeeper was caught off guard. Okay, so can you see here when I active passive it shortens the answer. I didn't have to talk about the opposing team. The opposing team caught their goalkeeper off guard. I don't want to say their opposing team, so I shorten it. Their goalkeeper was caught off guard. And here is why you learn active passive voice. Do you all understand? Because you want to shorten things, right? You change from active to passive voice. Something can be shortened and it can convey the same meaning. Okay? Again, synthesis exists for a reason. It isn't just for exams. It is also to make sure that your text becomes shorter, more concise, and more focused. In this case, my focus is on the goalkeeper, not on the opposing team. Okay, so why was the opposing team able to score a goal? Because the goalkeeper was caught off guard. Okay, right? Rather than saying because the opposing team caused the goalkeeper to be caught off guard. That's a bit too long already, so I shorten it. Okay. Next, Misu tried to cheer the team up. So at the end of the game here, we find that, let me highlight that again. Okay. The prison team dragged their soft feet off the pitch, their t-shirts in the changing room. Misu tried to cheer his players up. Okay, so what was it that caused Misu to cheer the team up? This camera, seriously. Okay, everyone, quick. Why did he have to cheer them up? What was happening here that made it so that Misu had to cheer them up? Okay, they were obviously very discouraged. Their t-shirts were soaked in sweat. Their heads hung low. They were like, dragging their feet off the pitch. Okay, they were not very motivated. So what caused them to be this way? What made them, so demotivated that Misu had to motivate them again? Kayan?
lost the match.
Yeah, they lost the match, right? Very good. Okay. And actually, this is good enough, right? They lost the match is good enough. But if I want to make it even more on the nose, that means I make this answer even better. What can I add to this to make this answer even better? Kyan is already on the spot. He gets the mark. But let's say I want to make this answer even better. They lost the match. Will?
They lost the match and their spirits were dampened.
No, the spirits were dampened is the result of losing the match. But something about the way they lost made it even more heartbreaking and discouraging. How was it? How did they lose? Right? What was it in the loss that made it so heart-wrenching, that made them so discouraged? Okay? Sports people, you all should know, right? You all should know, people who play sports especially. Reagan?
They lost by 1 goal.
Yeah, they only lost by 1 goal, right? Can you see? They only lost by 1 goal, no? Okay? If the margin was larger, okay lah, they were outclassed, okay? But they lost the match by 1 goal, only 1 goal. And this 1 goal was caused by their carelessness, right? The goalkeeper, careless. Their own player, who could have scored earlier in the match, careless, didn't score the goal because he wasn't paying attention, okay? So all of this was really heart-wrenching, right? So they only lost the game by 1 goal. It was such a short and narrow margin. Okay, next. Okay, this one, easy lah. 2 words that best describe the prison team in lines 18 to 25. So lines 18 to 25, okay, let me just clear this away. Lines 18 to 25 is here. Lines 18 to 25 here. Okay, so I'm going to identify everything that has to do with their feelings. Okay, so at first, they did not lose heart. Okay, they made every attempt to equalize the score. That's what happened to them at first. Then, when they lost, right, their hits were low. Then they needed cheering up. Okay, so these are the 2 feelings that I'm trying to capture how they felt in this section of the text. So did not lose heart. They tried their best to equalize. Then when they lost, they hits hung low, and then they needed cheering up. So what are the 2 here? Can someone volunteer to answer this question? Very easy. Come on, people. More than the usuals. Okay, Anand?
Disappointed.
Yes, okay, good. That was when they lost, right? Okay, hits hung low, and then they needed cheering up. That's disappointed. What about the earlier part where we are talking about how they, tried their best to equalize and refused to give up? Kayla?
Persistent.
Persistent, right? It's resilience, right? It's the inability for them to give up, right? It's the continuance of effort in the face of difficulty and challenge. That's persistence. The rest obviously don't fit, okay? And please be very careful. If you tick more than 2, all your answers are incorrect. I say again, for this question, they ask you to tick 2, right? If you tick 3, or you tick 4, all of your answers are wrong. Do you understand what I'm saying? So please read the question carefully, because if you don't tick the correct number, it doesn't matter whether out of the 3, 2 of them are correct. You get 0 for this. Because you cannot expect the teacher to choose the correct answer for you from the 3 that you ticked. Okay, so you will get 0 for all of them. Please read the question carefully. This kind of question tests your alertness and your adherence to the question. Okay, next, how did the team prove that they were not good for nothing? And even though this is 1 mark, there's actually 2 components to this answer. Okay, so let's go over to the not good for nothing. Okay, here. Okay, so there's 2 sections to this. Okay, it's not just what the obvious answer is, but there are 2 elements to this answer. Okay, the answer is, by the way, in this paragraph. Here, in this paragraph here. Okay, would anybody like to try? So what is it that they did that shows us they were not good for nothing? Because they were prisoners, right? People would tend to classify them as good for nothing, right? Burdens on society. But something in the way they played the game showed to us and to the audience and to the spectators that they were not good for nothing. They were indeed worth something. So what was it here that illustrates? And there are 2 elements to this, right? Okay. Let me call somebody. Can I have Raina? Raina? Okay, Raina, the question is, how did the team prove that they were not good for nothing? What did they do to prove that they were not good for nothing? And the answer is here, somewhere in this paragraph. Okay, Raina, try. Raina,
Mm. They did not play well and had even managed to prove that people who end up behind the bars were not always good for nothing.
sorry, can you say that again, please?
They did not play well and had even
They
managed
did not play well. Sorry, they did not play well. Where do you get that from? Raina, you said they did not play well, right? Where did you get that from? The fact that they did not play well. I don't see that anywhere in the text. Raina, where did you find they did not play well?
Mr. Pang, are you talking about the paragraph at line 25?
Yes, I'm talking about the paragraph at line 25, yes. Correct? I bracketed it, right? Yeah. Where did you get they did not play well? Look at it, Raina. What does it say? Please read it properly. Go ahead.
They did play well and
Yes.
had even managed.
What's the difference? What's the difference?
They played well.
Yeah. What did you say earlier?
They did not play well.
That difference just cost you your mark. Can you see? Can you see the difference? Can you see the mistake that you made? Raina, can you tell me what was the mistake you made?
I said they did not play well.
But what did the text say?
They did play well.
What's the difference between played well and did not play well? Is there a big difference?
Yes.
It is, right? It's the opposite, It's the opposite, That small little word, Raina, just cost you your question. So you must be very attentive in comprehension. That's the point I'm trying to make, right? Every word counts. When you read every sentence and every word, you have to be very alert to what the word is saying. You get what I'm trying to say? Okay? That one little word can cost you dearly if you are not careful, right? And it's right there. You cannot turn around and tell me, but Mr. Pang, there was a mistake with the text. There's nothing wrong with the text. The mistake was in your reading of it, wasn't it? The mistake was in your attentiveness to it, okay? So please, everybody, this is a good lesson in pointing out to you all that you have to pay attention to what is in the text and read it carefully, okay? So yes, the answer is there somewhere in that sentence, but I don't want you to read out the whole sentence, because if you copy out the whole sentence, you're not going to get a mark, right? So Raina, in that whole sentence you just read out, what is the important part of it?
They did play well.
Very good. That is part of the answer. Good. But that's not the complete answer. Okay, Raina? So you got part of it. They played well. And please, everybody, don't copy the entire sentence and then hope for the best, because you're not going to get a mark. Again, as a teacher, I cannot extract the answer from you from an entire chunk of text and give you the mark for it. You have to do it for me. That's comprehension. Everybody clear? If you copy the entire sentence there, you get a grand total of 0 marks. So they played well. They did play well. So that's part of it. But there's something else that made them not good for nothing. Okay? Something else. Will you? Yeah.
They were resilient.
No, nothing here about resilience. I'm talking about the answer from this paragraph. It's in this paragraph. Don't go outside this paragraph. Don't go into your own head. It's here in this paragraph. Anand?
The
Anand, you're breaking up. You're breaking up. Your connection is not very good.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, I think so. Can you go ahead? Try again.
Okay. They did their best.
Okay, they did their best. Okay, very good. Okay. Hold on. Yeah, I'm just trying to. Hold on. Okay. Hello, are you all there? All good? Okay, so they tried their best and they played well. Okay, so that's the answer, right? So they tried their best and they played well. Okay. So please, restrict your answers to the paragraph, to the passage, and be very careful as you read the answers that you don't put words that are not there in, because it could change the meaning of your sentence. And in comprehension, I'm measuring your accuracy of response and I'm measuring your ability to extract the relevant information. So avoid putting the entire chunk of text there and hoping for the best, because that's the worst strategy you can adopt. Okay, you must try to identify what's the most important part, extract it out. Okay, this part is 1 mark, the other part is another mark, and together is 2 marks, for example. Okay, so that's the technique. Please do not chunk your text and hope for the best. Okay, next question, number 5 is a reference question. The reference questions are very sensitive. You must answer them correctly. You must be very clear about what it's referring to. If you get the reference wrong, you will get the answer wrong. So disadvantage, them, and very serious crimes. Okay, so line 8, let's find all of them. Line 8, disadvantage here. Okay, then over here, we're talking about line 15 and line 31. Okay, them, line 15, okay, here them, and then line 31, here, very serious crimes. Okay, so who would like to start with line 8, disadvantage? What is the disadvantage? This one is very tricky, be careful, okay? Very careful. Dylan?
The prison team played barefoot while the opposing team wore football boots.
Okay, yeah, correct. I'm glad that you gave the correct and complete answer, Dylan. If you had simply mentioned the prison team played barefoot, then that is not the correct answer. Do you all know why? Because the disadvantage is if both teams are different, right? So you must mention the difference between both of them. If you just write the prison team played barefoot, that's not the disadvantage. What happens if the other team also plays barefoot, right? Then it'll be equal, there's no disadvantage. So you have to mention that one team played barefoot, the other team wore football boots. Okay, so that is the correct answer. Thank you, Dylan. Good job. Okay, so the prison team played barefoot while their opponents wore football boots, right? Next, line 15, them. Who does them in line 15 refer to? Here. Who does them in line 15 refer to? Someone else, please. Chloe, can you try this one, please? Who does the word them here in line 15 refer to?
The opposing team.
Thank you. The opposing team. You were here. You probably caught the answer in the earlier part of the Zoom, right? Okay, so the opposing team. Thank you very much. The opposing team, right? The opposing team was the them referred to. And very serious crimes here, okay, is quite a way up, okay? So very serious crimes here. Would someone like to tell me what were the very serious crimes? Be careful, it's crimes, so it's more than one, okay, more than one. Janelle, go. Would you like to tell me what were the very serious crimes committed by Bilia?
He had been thrown into prison for stealing bananas.
and injuring the seller while trying to get away.
Okay, very good. So can you shorten it for me to the important points? What is the serious crimes? What are the two serious crimes?
He was caught stealing bananas and injuring the seller.
Okay, that's it. Very good. All right, exactly that, right? So answer according to the question, only give exactly what they're asking for. So what are the very serious crimes? Okay, so stealing bananas is the first crime, even though it's not very serious, like I said, right? Okay, and injuring the seller. Okay, do I need to tell you that it was happening during the escape? Don't need, okay? Because I'm only asking you what the crimes were, right? The crimes were stealing and injury. These are the two crimes, okay? So again, I'm answering the question to its point. Don't copy the entire chunk of text and hope for the best. Try to isolate what are the two or the serious crimes that are mentioned here. This one I'm not going to do because it takes too much effort. I'm just going to tell you this is the sequence, okay? Right, I'm going to skip this. Let's move on to the next question. True, false. Okay, based on your recollection of what you read, let's see whether you can give me true, false first. Don't give me reason yet. Just give me true, false, okay? Prison team felt some discomfort during the match. Did they feel discomfort during the match? Okay, let's go over here. Oops, sorry. Okay, here. Okay. Would anybody like to answer this question? Did the prison team experience discomfort during the match? Reagan?
True.
True. Okay. What was the evidence from the text?
After the match, their foot was sore and
Okay. Okay, right? So they were barefoot, right? So therefore, they experienced discomfort. They had sore feet after the match. Definitely true. Okay, good. Ricardo was impressed with Billiers' speed on the pitch. Was Billiers' speed what he was impressed with? True or false? What was Ricardo impressed with? Anand?
False.
False. Good. Absolutely right. So what was Ricardo impressed with?
He was impressed of Bilia's the ball control and good strategic moves.
Yes, okay. So he was impressed not with his speed, but with his ball control and strategic moves, right? So false. He was impressed with Villiers' ball control and strategic moves, okay? Good. And lastly, Corporal Tanga was a compassionate man, okay? Corporal Tanga was a compassionate man. The answer is over here. Corporal Tanga was a compassionate man. True or false? By the way, do you all know what compassionate is? You all do, right? Don't know, ah? Okay, compassionate means like someone who is moved by pity or sympathy for other people. Okay? Compassion is kind of like sympathy or pity for other people. Juan, would you like to give me evidence of whether this is true or false?
true.
True. Okay, you're right. Okay, can you tell me where in this portion of text it shows me that he is a compassionate man, and you're right, he is compassionate.
He believes that everyone should be given a second chance.
Perfect. There we go. Okay, thank you very much, Joan. Okay, so true. He believes everyone deserves a second chance, right? Very good. Okay, thank you very much. Again, here, you must understand what compassionate means. If you don't know what compassionate means, then this question is pretty much gone. Okay, you will not be able to answer this question because you have to guess what it means. Okay, so this word compassionate has to be in your vocabulary in order for you to answer this question. There's no shortcut to this. Okay, let's go to the last two questions and we're done for the day. Yay! Okay, using Billy as an example, how can you tell that the needs of the prisoners were not provided for? So how can you tell that the prisoner was not meeting the needs of the prisoners? Okay, using Bilia as an example, how do we know that the prison was not meeting their needs? Okay, answer is somewhere here. How do we know that the prison was not meeting the needs of the prisoners? When we look at Bilia, what is it about Bilia that tells us the prison doesn't care about the well-being of its inmates? Lucas, do you want to try this? Stephanie, you do the next question, okay? Yeah, I saw your raised hand. Thank you. Lucas? The answer is somewhere in this section. What tells me that the prison is not taking good care of the prisoners?
They gave the prisoners uniforms that were too big for them, and gave them sandals that were made from an iron.
You know why this is the case, right? That means their uniforms are not fitted to them. They are not very ill-fitting. And then they don't even have proper sandals. They just cut out the tire. They make them wear the tire like a sandal. You know what I mean? No? It's very horrible, right? Okay, imagine you take a tire, then you cut out the shape of a foot. Then you just use some string and tie the tire to your leg. Is that a sandal? No, right? Okay, so it shows you that the prison, right, really didn't care very much for the prisoners. Okay, so his uniform was too big for him, and his sandals were made from an old tire. Okay, there we go. All right. So again, quite misleading, even though it's 1 mark, right? Okay, needs of the prisoners were not provided for. It actually has 2 parts to it. Okay, so it's not always that a 1 mark question only has 1 part to it. Sometimes the point can have 2 parts. Okay, so you must be very alert. Make sure that it answers the question. Okay, next, Stephanie, can you finish off for us, please? Do you think Bilia left the prison camp? Okay, and it's right at the end. Okay, the answer is right at the back here. And you must support your reason with evidence from the text. The answer is somewhere around here, right? Okay. Do you think Bilia ended the story by leaving the camp? And if so, what evidence from the text suggests to you that he did or did not? Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. What is it?
Bilia, Corporal Tanga wished Bilia well and sent him to pack his belongings.
Okay, right. So that's pretty straightforward. Okay. So yes, he was sent to pack his belongings. Okay. So the packing of the belongings is the main one, right? Yes, of course, is part of the answer. And then the reason to support it is part of the answer. But your yes by itself has no marks. If you just put yes, you get 0. So your yes must be supported by a relevant reason in order to get that 1 mark, right? So he was sent to pack his belongings. So when you pack your belongings, obviously you're about to leave the place, right? You're not going to stay there anymore. That's why you basically pack your belongings. Yes, Anand? What is it?
Like if you wrote yes and you wrote the wrong reason, will you get 0 or 1 mark?
What do you think?
I thought it was 1.
No.
Oh.
If your reason is wrong, then your yes is worth nothing.
Okay.
Your yes is worth nothing. But how much? Yes doesn't provide me with any information or any answers at all. It's just a yes or no. Okay, so the yes, whenever you have a yes or no question, right? First of all, you must always answer yes or no. If you don't answer yes or no, then your answer is also wrong. If you just say he was sent to pack his belongings, answer is 0. So the yes is the gateway. You must have a yes or no. But if you just put yes, the yes is worth nothing by itself. Or if you put yes and the reason is wrong, the yes by itself is also worth nothing. So the reason must be correct and the yes must be correct to get 2 marks. In other words, this question is a 2 mark or 0 question. There's no 1 mark. Do you understand? This question is a 2 mark or 1 or 0 question. There's no 1 mark. There's no scenario in which you can get 1 mark for this question. Okay? No scenario at all. Got it? Everybody? So be very careful when you're asked a yes-no question. Always answer yes-no first before you go on to elaborate with a reason. If you don't put a yes-no, you automatically get the entire question wrong, even if your reason is correct. I say again, even if your reason is correct, your answer will be wrong if you don't put a yes or no. So please be very careful with yes-no questions. Okay, that's basically my last point. Thank you, everybody. We've been together for more than an hour already, or rather, for those of you who were with me earlier, it's more than an hour already. So good job. Thank you very much. Tomorrow, I intend to go through some common mistakes and errors, and I will give you all another list of commonly misspelled words. You all go and study it, okay? Words that might occur in editing and might also occur in comprehension close that you all should spell correctly so you don't make those mistakes there. Okay, I'll send it out to you in the WhatsApp chat group. It will be a PowerPoint slide, okay, along with some explanations of how you can remember the spelling of those words effectively. So that will be out after this. Then I will post the video and the completed and annotated comprehension for you all to refer to when we get back tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow we are just going to do some practice in class. We'll relax and chill a bit. And then the next day is English paper. Then after that, we can get down to planning what we want to do at the end of the year. Okay? Right, so after your end of year, we'll have some more fun now, okay? We'll have a bit more relaxing time. So thank you all for your hard work. Thank you for your focus. That's all I have for you today. You can log off unless you have some questions for me, okay? And you can send me any extra practices you've done so I can mark it for you along the way, okay? Cool. Thank you, everybody. Good job focusing for an hour.
Bye, people.
Bye for now. Bye.
Bye bye, Tinker. Bye. Bye, Tinker. Bye, Tinker.
How come nobody say bye to Mr. Pang?
Bye, Mr. Pang.
Bye, Tinker.
Bye-bye.
You expect Tinker to be the one doing all the hard work for you, is it? Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, I'm stopping the recording.